Hello, my name is Jack Jackson. Thank you for joining me today to learn about the practice of forest stewardship. The practice of forest stewardship is a dedication to the healthy preservation, protection, and perpetuation of actively managed forests with particular focus on water quality, wildlife habitat, recreational opportunities, and renewable forest resources. Having spent nearly 40 years as a forester for the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, I can tell you that our Commonwealth is rich in the beauty of its natural resources. Sound forest stewardship can help us keep it that way for future generations. Together, let's take a look at how that's done. Forests are significant local and sustainable sources of clean air and water, wildlife habitat, beautiful landscapes, and wood products. The City of Haverhill has made efforts over the years to acquire such valued open space, much of which is protecting our drinking water supply. These efforts have led to the creation of many conservation areas that provide passive recreational opportunities for our community. However, until recently, the city did not regularly manage its forests. This is leading some of our forests to stand densities that do not allow sunlight to reach the forest floor to encourage new forest growth. Other concerns with unmanaged forests are extensive storm damage, increased densities that make it easier for disease and insects to invade and do serious damage to a forest, increased potential forest fires, and the loss of forest cover due to age. Stewardship options are available that can actually improve water quality, wildlife habitat, and perpetuation of our forest lands. Another aspect of forest stewardship is aesthetics. And what we have here is a beautiful example of a sugar maple. The tree probably is 250 to 300 years old. Got a beautiful symmetrical crown to it, and it's probably about 3 feet to 40 inches in diameter. And we want to highlight this tree to the hikers that are walking through this area. So our management scheme here was to cut all the small hemlocks out of this area to show off this big beautiful tree. And the operator did a fine job. This work at Clement Farm represents a more conventional forest thinning project. At Winnie-Kinney Park, however, the concern is the infestation of the hemlock trees and their significant decline in health. One thing we look for as we walk through woodlots is to try to find insect infestations. And this is a hemlock branch, and these white spots are called hemlock woolly adelgid. And it's an insect that sits at the base of each needle and feeds on the needle. And eventually all the needles on the tree will be killed. The insect sucks the juices out of the needle, and the needles will die, and eventually the tree will die. And this is a serious insect infestation that's coming through New England over the last 10 or 12 years, and eventually probably will kill all the hemlocks. Left unaddressed, the deaths of these trees bring about public safety concerns in the form of fallen trees and branches, potential forest fires, and erosion due to wind-thrown trees. The unintended consequences of doing nothing have resulted in eventual park closures in other states such as Connecticut, where the same hemlock problem exists. Another goal of this harvest is to remove other hazardous trees such as cankerous black birch. Every effort is being made to protect the residual stand of healthy white pine and a mixture of hardwood species. The plan projects the removal of a little over half of the trees across the 50 acres dominated by the hemlocks. Every effort is being taken to apply best management practices to restabilize harvested areas and promote new vegetative growth. Over time, the forest will naturally establish new tree growth. The woody debris left behind will provide both habitat and nutrients for the soil to support this new growth. I hope you enjoyed today's visit into the world of forest stewardship. To learn more about practicing forest stewardship on your property, contact your local Conservation Commission office or the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation.